Okay, I'm gonna try and do this as a quick upload. Every time I do that, it doesn't work, but I'm gonna try anyway. On the issue of the F word, or well, I'm just gonna say it. Fuck, the word fuck. I think you are absolutely correct in your response to Yokup, because there's absolutely no way to prove that a word, that it is offensive or non-offensive. That's not the point. But you're also sort of coming up against, I think, the consequences of an absolutist worldview. Yokup sees the world in sharp contrasts of black and white. And so, of course, in order to help make his point, he's going to try these little, as he sees it, little philosophical arguments, because to him, this is a microcosm of a larger macrocosm. If he can prove this point, he can then disprove everything else. And just as he lumps all Christians together, which is ill-advised and naive, probably Christians of his definition, by the way, that tends to be another absolutist point of view. I grew up in a church where anybody who didn't go to my denomination, which was Church of Christ, the general consensus of my church was that everyone else, whether they were Baptists or Methodists or Lutherans or Presbyterians or whatever denomination they were, or Catholic, in particular Catholic, that they were all going to hell and they were going to burn for eternity because they weren't the true church. You see this a lot in absolutist points of view and absolutist perspectives, and that's what you're coming up against here. And so he's going to pick a word like fuck, a word that he won't deign to say, because that would be a sin. You won't catch him saying it. If he does, he's either drunk or he's a liar. And I don't really see him as either. I think that he's absolutely convinced of the things that he says. I've watched his videos. I believe that he believes what he's saying. But it's kind of funny, isn't it, how they pick these little challenges in an attempt to pigeonhole everyone. Because that way he can go to church and say that he's fighting the good fight on YouTube, and that all the little atheists, that there's no cohesive worldview, and they don't have that they're just lost. But he fails to understand the thing that you're talking about. One of the things you're talking about is that there is no cohesive worldview, whether you are an atheist or an agnostic or not. There is no cohesive worldview. And most things in the world actually fall in this nice little space we like to call gray. There are some things that probably are absolutely right, and there are some things that probably are absolutely wrong. Maybe. But I think that's where we can talk about things, and we can discuss the implications of making some things absolutely right and some things absolutely wrong. But the word fuck, now it has been used at me in times where I thought it was meant negatively, of course. Everyone's been told to fuck off. But I've also told my friends to fuck off, and it's all about the tone and the context. And so the word itself is not bad. And again, Bella, this goes back to the other conversation. I love how things wrap around, don't you? It's so interesting. But it's all about, we focus on the word and not the context. And so, because Yokup is not going to focus on context. Because to him, certain things, he has no gray area. Things are either right and noble and Christian, or they are evil. And to talk about a specific word and talk about issues like context would be for him to accept the premise that there is gray area, that there are circumstances where certain things may not be right all the time, and where certain things may not be wrong all the time. And that sort of contradicts everything about how he conceives the universe. So, yeah, this is fun. And just from a personal point of view, I love to say the word fuck. I like it a lot. It's such an expressive word. It rolls off my tongue so easily. And I get criticized, mostly by my mother, God love her, if you believe in God, who, whenever she sees these videos or she sees it in my work, my brother actually forwarded her one of my videos where I use the word fuck, I think probably every 2 or 3 words. And I get this phone call from her about how, despite the fact that I'm so highly educated, that I still resort to simple language. But sometimes the simplest language is the most complex, and sometimes it's also the most useful. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I love these kind of discussions. It's not as good as sex, and maybe not as fun as football, but it's a nice little intellectual game to keep me occupied. While I'm taking my lunch break, and then I'm going to go back and work. So anyway, and this is my second video today, which is unusual for me. So anyway, and I felt inspired just because, yoke up. I would engage him directly, but I just, I don't have the patience that you have, Bella, and the other people have, because I know there's no point, at least for me. I respect your optimism. I really do, and I've said that before. But if I were to do it, I think it would just go badly, and I know that he's probably not going to address me directly. If he did, I would respond, but I just don't feel like I need to, because I've talked to people like him my entire life, and I stopped for a reason. So, anyway, that's all I got. Bye.